Absolutely, one of my favorites indeed as well. It is that time of the week again. It's time to go into the wild, our weekly roundup of Mother Nature's big backyard. And we're back with our wild man and conservation expert, Luke Bax. And our lines are open, of course. We are taking your calls and we want to know what animal you've recently encountered. The number to dial, 083 913 3728. Luke, lucky to have you, brother.
Always happy to be back.
Welcome back, yeah. Listen, before we get into some wild news, some eco news. China has just approved a new national park that's larger than Yellowstone.
Yeah, so mainly the reason they've gone about establishing this national park is to protect two of its large wild cats.
Okay.
So it's your Amur tiger and your Amur leopard. Both these cats are critically endangered. The Amur leopard, I think, has got a population of about 30 left in the wild, and the Amur tiger in the 70s was pretty much extinct.
Yeah.
So now the establishment of this reserve has been directed literally at the conservation of those two big cats. But it has the knock-on effect of conserving everything around it, which it's kind of like the benefit of when you conserve a reserve for one species,
yeah.
you conserve everything that it
Everything in
interlinks with. So everything that touches, it pretty much interlinks with the, so there's a picture of the Amur leopard.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. Of course you want to look after these guys. Now,
Yeah, exactly.
How big are we talking about this park? Like, is it...
So, well, it's bigger than Yellowstone National
Yeah.
Park. I don't know the exact figure.
Okay, but we know Yellowstone is huge.
Yeah, so it will be one of the world's largest national parks.
That's incredible, man.
Yeah, it's massive.
Now look, we see some beautiful pictures of cats up here. Now, big cats in South Africa, we know them, as well. We're talking animal encounters, and you personally, I mean, you've been in some pretty interesting situations before. So what about big cats?
Yeah, so my my experience with big cats is actually the more interesting experience. It's actually when I was a kid.
Okay.
Less than when I've been working with them. When I was about 9 years old, we were in the Kalahari with my family. So that in those days, there was no fence between the campsite and I think there's still no fence between the campsite and the park.
Yeah.
And obviously the ablution block's a little bit away of the tent, so off I go to the ablution blocks one night, sitting in the toilet, and suddenly you hear a couple of footsteps coming in, and a pride of lions.
And it wasn't mom or dad.
No, a pride of lions had come into the ablution block where I was sitting, and started drinking the water out of the toilets.
What?
On the stalls next to me, and you could hear the scratching in the stall that I was in. Put my feet up against it, kind of like lean back, and I was just like, oh, please don't get under the door.
How on earth? I mean, what went through your mind as a 9-year-old?
I'm not really sure that I can say those words on TV, but...
Dude, that is crazy.
It was pretty much just like, it'll pass.
And that is, of course, where he fell in love with the work that you do today.
Yeah, pretty much.
Luke Bax is going to be back with us a little bit later this morning. We're talking animal encounters. Now, give us a shout with your eco-wildlife related questions, or even tell us about which animal you've spotted in the wild, or even which animal you've encountered. Maybe it's been a weird story, interesting story, a funny story. Give us a shout, 083 9133 728. That's 083 9133 728. More with Luke after the break.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welkom terug, jy's ingeskakel op jou goed voel ontbytprogram. Dis Expresso net hier op SABC3. Dankie dat jy so lekker saam met ons kuier op jou goed voel donderdagoggend. Right now, we are back with Luke Bax and we're talking about the wonderful world of the wild. Give us a shout, 083 9133 728, if you had an interesting, funny, or even weird encounter with a wild animal recently. Luke, lovely to have you once again. Turning our attention to the coastal waters right now, and I know that our very own Graham had a rather interesting encounter not so long ago, swimming with sharks. I mean, let's check out that picture quickly. You can throw it up on the board there. And there we go. You can check him getting it. So what are we looking at here?
Those look like black-tip reef sharks.
Okay. Dangerous much?
No, I mean, then normally your species that control your smaller fish populations around your reefs, they're not known to attack humans.
Yeah.
They're very passive shark. You often find them, they do diving, like you can see, they do diving lessons around them because they are such an unaggressive shark.
Okay, cool. So I mean, it looks like a great experience. The fact that also you take the cage away.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's more natural, more neutral.
Yeah. It's a much more natural experience when you're getting up and close person with the sharks.
Yeah.
And you do get more of an adrenaline rush when one of those things comes and bumps you in the leg.
Oh, I can just imagine. I mean, I went swimming or actually diving at the Cape Town Aquarium with one of
the
those
raggies.
the raggies. Yeah.
Yeah, very cool.
Also an experience that I'll never forget. But listen, we have a caller on the line. Sue, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Sue. How are you doing?
I'm fine, and you?
Good. Thank you very much. What's your question or comment or encounter?
Well, we had an encounter a few years ago in the Kruger National Park. My parents were visiting from overseas,
Okay.
And we were in a combi. We're driving along. We'd seen a lot of game, but came across a troop of baboons. My husband turned to my parents in the back and said, "Please make sure that window's closed." Before we could say anything, this huge male baboon had got through the window, climbed into the boot section of the combi, and just sat there looking over the top, sort of in between my parents.
No.
And my husband just stopped the combi and said, "Just quietly, all just get out." And we all just had to get out, and the baboon just grabbed whatever food it could find at the back and shot out the combi.
That is crazy. Sue, thank you so much for sharing. Man, that sounds nuts. Just in there with the occupants of the car.
Just wanted to lift somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you very
Yeah.
much, Sue. I mean, what do you do in a situation like that? I mean, did they do the right thing? Just get out slowly?
They did the right thing. I mean, baboons, they can become very aggressive, especially when you try to take their food away. Like, let's say that he's grabbed a bag and he's busy going through it, and you
Yeah,
try to
don't
take
do
it
that.
away. They get very aggressive.
Yeah.
And also, if you give them a fright, they actually, how do I say this politely? They tend to defecate all over the car.
Okay.
They'll just they'll just... I'm trying to think of a polite way to say that. But they pretty much just let loose in their panic. And
Wow.
so, yeah, the best thing they could have done was just get out slowly and just let the baboon get out in its own time.
Awesome. What a crazy story. Sue, thank you very much. Luke, thank you, man. We're going to be back with you in just a little bit. Right now, we still continue to focus on our pets this morning. We're sitting down with Dr. Mats, and he's talking about diseases that can really affect your pet and why you should be vaccinating your pet to prevent these. Let's hear.
My feel-good breakfast show.
All right, back with Luke Bax this morning talking wild encounters on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. That number to call 08391 33728 if you experienced something interesting or funny over the past while with regards to wild animals. We have a caller on the line this morning. John, good morning.
Good morning to you.
Morning, John. You're calling all the way from KZN. What's your story?
Yes, my story, I didn't have an encounter with wild animals, but it was actually with killer ants. I was living up in Zambia, and myself and two other young friends, we were about 12, 13, and we were camping on a farm, and the actual farmer had warned us about a leopard.
Okay.
So that night, it's about 9 o'clock at night, we heard sounds in the bushes, and we thought it was a leopard, but what it was, in fact, was a large swarm of these killer ants. So there were so many that they were actually making a sound in the bushes. And we tried to make a trench to stop them from coming, and we made a fire, but they just poured into the trench live, killed themselves, and crawled over the dead bodies, and eventually still came towards our camp. And so we had to evacuate in the middle of the night. We heard that those same ants, if you have chickens in the chicken run, they just simply cover the whole chicken and eat it alive.
What?
So they were real vicious.
Wow, John, thank you, man. That sounds crazy, dude.
Yeah.
Luke, what do you make of that?
Well, actually, I had a friend of mine who worked in Zambia for a while, and he said he actually spent most of his time sleeping in a hammock up in a tree so that the ants wouldn't get to him.
Are they that bad?
They just come in one massive army and they just take over whatever they feel like it. I mean, there's so many of them, like armies of up into the millions, and they just swarm whatever they want. And they're pretty big, and they've got very powerful bites. And like you said, if they swarm over a chicken, unfortunately that chicken is going to die. But yeah, like, I mean, they completely destroy everything. Well, they don't destroy, but they're part of nature. So they completely take over everything on the forest floor at night.
The wild and wonderful world of nature. Listen, let's get back to sharks. We had a caller earlier from John Monsoon, and his story goes he was snorkeling with Cape fur seals recently. That's just near Simonstown, around 200 baby seals or so, and he says there were lots of gully sharks in the area, which is quite harmless in his opinion as well and safe to swim with, and they tend to follow snorkelers around, and they think because of the abalone poaching in the area. So the gully sharks, what do you make of them? Dangerous or not? I mean, is it safe if you see one of these guys?
Well, your gully sharks and your shy sharks, which can be your dog sharks, your cat sharks, I mean, they're very unimaginative names, but they're completely harmless. They don't have any teeth. The smaller ones, they've got like a sandpaper kind of mouth. And yeah, the theory that they follow the abalone poachers could be true, because when abalone poachers dislodge the abalone, or when they clean them in the water, they obviously leave stuff behind. But they're completely harmless. You can go right up to them pretty much.
Okay.
They're very pretty. They're very nice sharks to actually swim with.
Okay, so if you see one, how would you recognize it? Because so not to freak out.
Okay, well, I mean, comparatively to your big sharks, they're size-wise, the biggest ones, I think is a leopard shark. It gets up to about 1.5 meters, 2 meters. They're very colourful patterns. They're not your uniform grey or uniform black like a lot of the other sharks. and they haven't got like a very narrow nose. They've got more of a rounded nose. They're a lot flatter. They're not your typical shark build.
Okay, all right, cool, man. But I think in general, whether that's a shy shark or or any other type of shark, I think you know, you got to have the utmost respect. Here we see a surfer, and I mean, just quickly before we go, I mean, this is also part of the reason why we have shark attacks, because you know, they mistake you for being food, right? Yeah.
So sharks, their sense of sight is not amazing. They normally sense their prey with electroreceptors in their mouth or on the side of their face. It's very complicated. It's the ampullae of Lorenzini. They've got electroreceptors that literally everything emits electric pulse. So they normally sense as they get close to prey. But with a bigger animal like that, they can't risk getting close to sense it because it might cause them damage. So that resembles a turtle or a seal. So they hit first, ask questions later.
Exactly. We also know that sharks are very curious, and unfortunately, they don't have hands to explore. They use their mouths. All right, but they're not naturally. We're not their food, basically. So just utmost respect for our sharks out there. Luke, thank you so much, my friend.
Always good.
That was fun, man. That was fun. Animal encounters on your Feel Good Breakfast Show, but lots more to come. Stay with us.
Break when we get back. It's Thursday, which means it's time for us to show you a little how-to. This morning, we're going to have some fun with your own circle-chained mirror.
And then if you're thinking of becoming a decor Instagrammer, we've got tips for you provided by industry expert and interior designer Dylan Tomage. All that and more coming up on your Feel Good Breakfast Show.